Yo, what is going on, everybody? Welcome back to the 10-Minute Mailbag, and we have an exciting update for you all on the future of the 10-Minute Mailbag. To give you all the content that you so crave and desire, you no longer only have to comment on the previous week's 10-Minute Mailbag to have your question considered for the upcoming week. In the description down below, you will see a link to my Discord. It is up and running. Join it. In that Discord, there's a channel called 10-Minute Mailbag, and this way, at any point during the week, if you've got a question, you don't have to come back to the YouTube video. You don't have to feel as if you have to come up with a question on the spot whilst watching the YouTube video. Now you can just organically ask a question whenever you have one. So every week from now on, from this week moving forward, the 10-Minute Mailbag will be a mix of YouTube questions and Discord questions. I want to be able to help as many of you as possible, and ultimately, I just want to deliver the best MLB The Show content that's humanly possible. So I appreciate all the help you guys have been in feeding me questions. I'm going to keep answering them. Just make sure you leave them on YouTube or the Discord. Leave them in both places. Double down. On that note, I've got 3 great questions we're going to get to today. So let's not waste any more time. Let's go talk about it. All right, homies, we've got 10 minutes on the clock as usual, and we're just gonna have a blast. We're gonna have a good time on this Monday. So here we go in 3, 2, 1, begin. Our first question today comes from Braves fan living in Royals country. Very specific name. Does the lack of content in the game right now concern you? So, we're gonna answer this question. But this is also, consider this a bit of a forward plug for tomorrow's podcast episode. YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, 9 a.m. Eastern Time on YouTube, 5 a.m. if you want to listen to it really early on Apple and Spotify. We're going to have a really honest conversation in Tuesday's podcast episode. Really honest conversation. This is going to be part of it. So consider this a sneak preview. The lack of content is interesting to me. I want to point one thing out first. Last year, a significant portion of the player base, I don't want to say all the player base because you can't speak in black and white, so I'll say a significant portion of the player base did not like the pacing of the content. It was too front-loaded into a set, or it was like a couple good weeks and then absolutely nothing for 3 weeks. It was very, very sparse. Probably the best word. So now we're working with something a little different, where it is scheduled content, where it is more frequent, theoretically, but maybe it's not hitting the same. So I don't know where I stand on this. I have more problems with content structure so far than I do with content pacing. For example, and also, if they did the content structure better, it would make the pacing feel better, in my opinion. So here's what I'm talking about. Let's start with, where was it? What was the most recent thing that dropped? Oh, these stupid things. Hold on. Packs by packs. This is another part of the conversation we'll get into more in the podcast episode. This pipeline, MLB pipeline pack. Super cool. Roderick Arias, top-rated, or one of the top-rated Yankees prospects. Jordan Beck, never heard of him. Nick Frasso, he's a cool fellow who I've heard of. Ryan Clifford, Brian Rocchio, not sure. Blake Mitchell, Carson Whisenhunt, what a fun fella. Chase Petty, and then the new headliner is Matt Shaw, who I've heard quite a bit about. Instead of MLB The Show giving us a program to unlock some of these cards, which is a new card series, by the way. They just shadow dropped a new card series. They gave us a specialty pack. If they had introduced this content through a program, something like the Spring Breakout, because in theory, it's almost like the exact same premise, where you give us a couple of cards, and then at the end, you give us one of those specialty packs. Now that's something to do, because in theory, that involves a showdown. Maybe there's a conquest. There's some moments. There's some missions. There's some stuff to grind. It aligns with the current event going on, so you can use those people in events. That would make what's happening make more sense, right? I mean, I am less upset about the lack of content, because I actually think the content is there. They're just not doing it right. It's not being implemented correctly. And that's an L on what's been going on at SDS right now. It starts a whole much bigger philosophical conversation about the direction this game is heading, and that is a conversation we are going to have on the podcast on Tuesday. I don't want to spoil too much of my feelings on that. But I will say that I am so far pretty disappointed with the direction of this game. After an incredibly fun launch week, in which the game was honestly great. It's been anything but great since. But yeah, Braves fan living in Royals country. I think what they're doing with some slight tweaks would satisfy us a little more. If I'm being completely honest. I don't think they have to completely reinvent the wheel again. I think the bones of it are there. They just need to, give us some programs to work on. Look at all these fun free cards from Spring Breakout that were great and usable, and you still see them. It would have been cool to have that with the Pipeline guys, or other similarly related specialty packs and whatnot. So, thank you for your comment, or your question. I'm curious what you think. Do you think what I'm saying makes sense? Do you think there should be another solution? I'm curious. Next question comes from Big Daddy. What's up, Big Daddy? Any hitting tips for an old man that can't seem to hit the fastball, nor, good use of nor, lay off speeds in the dirt? I used to be good at this game, and now I suck. So, before you start proclaiming that you suck, I would tell yourself to not get too discouraged thus far, because with so many low vision players that we're forced to use right now because of the power creep, which in my opinion is a good thing, hitting is definitely weird. It's sometimes you're on fire, sometimes you're not. Vision plays a huge part in how this game plays online, for better or worse. My suggestion, as always, first thing you should do, go into your settings, go into your sliders, and we want, where is it? Fastball pitch speeds from the CPU. We want to crank that up 3 spots. I'm sorry, my face is covering it. I could just do a quick little doodah here. Okay, webcam gone. 1, 2, 3. I want 3 up. Off speed, pitch speed, 1, 2, 3, up. And now my face is back. You're going to save that. I didn't save it just because I'm not actually going to do it right now. I already have that profile saved somewhere. Once you do that, save that profile. Go into custom practice, which I probably passed. Classic. Where is practice? Am I high? There it is. Go into custom practice. Sorry, we're just doing this. We're doing it live. We go into custom practice. Holy Christ, these menus make no friggin' sense. They are so illogical. And once you get into custom practice, the fastball pitch speeds are going to be omega fast. The off-speed pitch speeds are going to be omega fast. We're going to make sure our gameplay is on legend difficulty for the computer. Even if you're not close to a legend player. Even if you're not sniffing it. That's fine. You're going to change your practice type to batting. You're going to turn off everything but the fastball, because we just want fastballs, and I want them all to be strikes. I want every single pitch to be a strike. And now we're just practicing timing. I know every fastball is going to be in the zone. I know it's going to be fast, and I'm just working on hitting the ball. The reason the sliders, we ticked those up, it's twofold. One, we want these pitches to be zooming past us. We want them to be the fastest things we've ever seen. Secondly, offline legend is not the same as online legend, because you're accounting for connectivity and potential lag and spikes of your connection and things like that. So throwing it up a few extra ticks kind of helps you account for that difference. It's not an exact science, but it is helpful. So look at us. We're just hitting fastballs. We're sitting here and hitting fastballs till we feel good about hitting fastballs. Didn't feel great there. Once we feel semi-okay about doing that, we're going to hit pause. We're going to go to practice type. We're going to go to batting. You said you struggle with balls in the dirt, so we're going to do knuckle curve and four seam. And I only want these zones. We know it's going to be low, and now we have to decipher if it's going to be a fastball or a knuckle curve in the dirt. And that's it. We're just going to keep practicing. Some of these are going to be bounced. Some of these are not going to be bounced. And, this is not exactly going to scratch your competitive itch, per se, but it's going to make you better. I promise you, custom practice is a great place to learn, to work on some stuff. That was a ball. I should have swung at it. and it's underutilized by the community. So that's what you're gonna do. Big Daddy, thank you for your question. I hope this helps. I hope you find your swing again. Our last question comes from Scott. Should SDS find a way to do an event's history, even if it's self-contained within events, but it shows your record by event and what the event parameters were? So the reason Scott is asking this question is because I'm maybe having, or had, because I guess I finished it, one of the best events of my life. I haven't checked the leaderboard in a while. We're going to do that together as a team right now. I finished the event, just for your guys' information, 35-2. 3625 rating. That is, it's probably not. I was like rated 12th in the world at one point, but because I haven't played in so long, I'm probably not there anymore. Now I'm in this general range. I'm tied for 63rd. I guess officially I'm in 76th, even though I have the same rating. So what Scott's suggesting is having like some sort of like Hall of Fame, a Cooperstown type of thing. We've talked about that before, where you could see your past history. Maybe we could see some old flawless runs that we went on. I think it's cool. I think those are fun little quality of life things that just make the game a little more immersive. It helps for you to like, I guess, what would we call it? Like kind of like a resume. Like these are the things I've accomplished in MLB The Show 24, and I have them all here for eternity. And that's how I can see all the stuff I've accomplished. It'll be cool. Usually when one event ends, we just move on and forget about it. Like, it just happened and it's over. But yeah, I think it'd be cool to have better record keeping, essentially. Because even, like, the records they do keep aren't even always accurate. I don't know why SDS can't do things like that. So, yes, I would love if they did something like that. That's going to do it, everybody, for this 10-minute mailbag. Remember, join the Discord. Even if you don't want to hang out in the 10-minute mailbag channel, I think that's what they're called. I'm still learning how to Discord. We have tons of other channels that are very active. All sorts of things you'd want to talk about. Fantasy baseball, general MLB The Show. We have some homie support if you're struggling and going through a tough time. Open forum. So I'm there. Friends are there. People are there. And we have a blast. So join the Discord. Ask your questions. And make sure to look out for the content this week, as always. I might not have a Whiteboard Wednesday this week. I don't know if you guys can tell by my voice. I'm kind of feeling under the weather. I'll see how that goes. That's a TBD. But you'll have the podcast. You'll have a Thursday video. And maybe, who knows, maybe there will be more stuff to talk about Friday when Team Affinity drops. I don't know. No promises. Love you all. Thank you for making it to the end. See you next time.